Hi everybody, I'm Sean James and this is Kentucky, the main truck state. On this week's video, we're going to be off the Mazda for just this week. I'm actually doing work to it behind the scenes, but we have a show coming up this weekend. It's Oktoberfest in Paducah, and I'm not going to be able to take this truck, obviously, so I'm going to take the Nissan. In order to take the Nissan, I want to get the center console done. I've got it sitting in my truck currently, and I want to get it cleaned up and get it wrapped and ready for this weekend. So we're going to pull that out. Make sure and do all good YouTube things. Like, comment down below. Hit the notification bell for future videos, all that good stuff. Share the content as it helps my channel grow. We are 920 subscribers. We're only 80 away from 1,000, which is just awesome. I cannot believe it. I'm so excited about that. Let's get into why we're not working on the Mazda this week. So, besides the issue with the show this weekend, I went and got some tires for the Nissan or for the Mazda, and they're hitting the firewall, which I had no idea that was going to happen. Real close there. On the inside, we have a little bit of room still, but it's definitely hitting the firewall back there, so I'm going to have to tub the firewall. That is only if Katie wants to put the 20s on there. The whole idea with this truck, watching Garage Time with LT, and I've got on my man candy hat. Garage Fab, he finally had some merch come out, so I got a shirt and a hat from him, and I plan to try and support him more as well. I like his videos, but anyway, back to what we're working on. So I got some they're 245 30 20s, and they're hitting just before the truck lays out. The whole point with this truck was to be a solid driver for my daughter, and we're really not worried about running 20s on this truck. So it's something that I just wanted to do, but I don't think Kate needs to be driving around on 30 series tires with aluminum wheels. That she'll have them destroyed for sure. So the plan is we're probably going to get some 215 50 17s and put on the wheels that were on this truck to start with. And once we get that done, she'll have that for a little while until she's comfortable driving the truck, and then we can put these 20s on later. The main thing I want to use these 20s for is my Mazda when I build it. That is one of the reasons I got these wheels. And that'll be the next build after I get done with this Mazda build. Subscribe to get a chance to win that subwoofer. I want to get that subwoofer away once I hit 1,000 subscribers. But anyway, so I've got the bench set up over here, Mazda, and yeah, my head's on. I don't know if my recorder was on, my microphone was on, but it's working on a truck this time. Pretty sweet. So I've got the bench over here set up. We're going to bring the console in. I have a little bit of sanding to do to flush a few edges up, round some corners over. And then we'll get that mess cleaned up. We'll pull the fabric out, and we'll get it laid out. And we'll go ahead and get it covered. It'll be kind of a quick video this week. I'm not really going to cover a lot of what I do. I'm not an upholstery guy, so I cannot give you guys any good tips at all for wrapping stuff. The last console I did, I definitely messed up a few edges here and there. So I don't feel confident giving you guys instructions on something I'm not good at. So what we'll do is probably just do some cut scenes, some pass-throughs. When I hit some stuff, we'll do some comments here and there. But anyway, I appreciate you guys being here. I can't be here without you guys. Again, make sure to subscribe to the channel so we can get to 1,000 subs. That way I can get that Scar Audio SVR D212 away and get it out of my hair. I've talked with Jacob, which I've said this several times. He's ready for me to bring those axles over. We just had a lot going on with the work this week, so I've just not had a chance to get to it and get over to him. Plus, he's been really busy. He had a lot of work come in, so I'm not going to go in there and bother him when he's trying to make money. But anyway, let's get the console in here, and I'll kind of show you what we have to do to get it ready, and we'll go from there. All right, we've got the console in the garage, and one of the things we have to do is get this stuff kind of sanded flush. There's a few little spots that are off a little bit. I want to get this corner sanded round. Same thing with this one back here, nice clean round over. It's kind of harsh on your arm right now. I'll do some body work with this area, kind of fill it in, round this edge over. Then I got to cut in the 2 voltmeters that are going to go on the front. And so I'm going to wrap this one just the same as I did the other one. We're going to do the tan on the face and the dark brown on the sides. I've got the cup holders sitting right there. They fit really good, so I want to get this done, make it look good. It shouldn't take too long. I've got a belt sander that I'm going to use to just run over the top of this and get this all kind of drugged down nice and smooth. as I can. This has just got one screw and it's not glued down. That way I can pull it off, cut out the voltmeters easier, and they're gonna be like a press fit. So we'll be able to take care of that. But yeah, let me get everything kind of set up. We'll go ahead and probably just time lapse me getting this thing ready. There's no reason to sit here and watch me grind and body work, all that good stuff. So we'll go from there. Also, make sure and comment down below if you do like this kind of content. So, I'm gonna try and do a little bit mix here and there because as much as you guys like the Mazda content, there's a lot of guys that like the audio content, and I've actually got more people on the audio side that have joined my channel than on mini truck stuff. So, I want to make sure and keep both sides happy and keep both sides growing. So, and the thing is, I can do a lot of stuff like this. Would be like a 1-day project, so it's not really take away from the Mazda that much. So again, I've collected parts. I've got the Deutsch connectors and stuff for the air ride on the back. That way I can wire up all of this good stuff. I found a kit on Amazon. It's like $90, but it's a really good looking kit. Should make everything painless to work on. I can plug it and unplug it if I need to, all that good stuff. That way I can get the controller hooked up. I bought the water traps. They came in, so I can get those hooked to the tank, so I can get the compressors hooked up, all that good stuff. So yeah, I mean, I'm still making progress. I'm actually making a video for the Mazda already, but like I said, with the show coming up, I couldn't help but to record this to get this video out. And the next week's video will be a little bit longer, maybe a little bit better content and all that good stuff. But again, comment down below if you like this content as well. So we'll kind of pepper it in here and there. And I've also got a build this winter coming in from one of our subscribers who has contacted me. And the only reason I'm agreeing to do it is because he is a good dude. He contacts me quite often. He's proven to be a pretty good friend, so I want to be able to help him out. So hopefully in the future, I'm not gonna say who it is yet, but we'll definitely get to him this fall, this winter. So make sure and stay tuned for that one for all you audio guys. But anyway, let me get this set up and get this thing cleaned up and get it ready to start wrapping it. So as you can see, I was switching my old hat because I don't want my brand new hat dirty with all the sanding and stuff. Did anybody notice what I've missed doing compared to my old console? So the previous one, I used a round over bit and rounded this edge over all the way around. And so hopefully I can router, around the top, so far they come around and do this side. I don't know how well it'll match up doing top to bottom, but we always take the sander and clean it up. So I'm not too awful worried about it. I'll get a practice piece and try it on there and try and get it set up as close as I can to make it as little work as possible. But that round over really makes it look super clean. Could even do like a 45. That would be kind of neat, but I think it'd be hard to sand into it. But anyway, let me go ahead and get my router set up. I'll get that routed out, and then we'll be ready to blow this thing off and do a little bit of body work. We got to nail hole fill all the screws. That way they don't show through. And yep, we'll come back when we get ready to do that. All right, we are back. I'm now watching Michael Keene's new Bluegrass Metal Creations video where he's bagging the front of a cat eye crew cab. I believe for Fitz custom gauges, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, I've got my bit figured out. I've got it set the height that I need. So what I'm going to have to do is router this top edge around as far as I can. Then I'll come over here, router this top edge as far as I can and around. And then I'll just stand it up and I'll router this from the top. And it looks like it's going to work pretty good. I want to do it before I do any of the body work. That way if some spots mess up, I can putty them up, clean them up, and get them ready. So not a real big deal there. So a bottom shot of how the console is together. So I'll meet y'all set up and we'll get this thing routed out. The Nissan is basically begging me to take it out. I put new tires on it yesterday. I haven't even driven it yet. So I think what we're going to do is while this body filler dries, I'm going to hop in the Nissan, go get something to eat. We're just like a minute and a half out of town, so it won't be very far. But I need to get supper. We'll let this stuff dry. We'll get all that sanded. Then we'll get our mess cleaned up. We'll start getting the vinyl cut out and get it ready to put on. Basically, we're going to stay on this till we get it done. I'm not having any time tomorrow because I got to be able to edit the video tonight. So it may be a long night. Who knows? My wife and kids are at Wrangler's Campground camping this weekend. We have fall break at school, so they've been off all week. So they've been camping. I've been home by myself all week, but we've just been really busy at work, so I haven't had a chance to really make a video. I've got a few things recorded on the Mazda, but not enough for it. Like I said, with the car show coming up this weekend, I probably should have this done sooner, but I've been trying to get ready on the Mazda. But that wheel cambering in up there. I posted on Facebook if I could get 1 like, I would tub the firewall. And last time I checked, it was over 100 likes. So I may have to do it just because everybody liked it. But anyway, I'm gonna hop in the Nissan, go get some supper, and we'll pick it up after we get back and done eating. All right, so we have the console ready. We have it blown off. I'm gonna take and set the console down. I'm gonna wipe this table down really good, get all the dust off of it, and then we want our storage Mazda and get our vinyl out, get the pieces cut. I use it's a Weldwood product, Landau top glue, and this stuff was not cheap, but I've done a lot of projects with it, so it's definitely worth its money. It works really, really well. It's super sticky. If you put it down, you better want it there because once you push down on it, you can't really get it off there. So what I'm going to do, like I said, is get this stuff set off, get the table cleaned off, get all this dust off. Then we'll kind of set it out to cut patterns and get that part ready. I almost got ahead of myself and forgot about my voltmeter. So we've got these voltmeters that will mount into this panel. So all I got to do is find a way to get these cut out. I'll probably just drill a hole, take a jigsaw and cut it close, and then take a piece of sandpaper and sand it really, really close. I've had issues trying to do this in the past. I'm just not very accurate with these little pieces like this. So we'll have to see how well I can do, but I'm not too scared. I'm not too worried about it. We'll make it work out. So I got to get my drills brought in and get those drilled out. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some CA glue to actually set this piece. I don't know if you guys have ever used this stuff before, but it's really, really cool. So you have a glue, and then you have an activator. And once you spray the activator where the glue's at, it instantly bonds it. So we'll just put a pass on each side here. Like that. Shake this up. Spray it on there. And underneath here, you can see. So make sure you do not get it on your hands. So we'll put this down where that goes. And just like that. That is set in place. All right, I don't know if this is the proper way to do it, but since I have this rabbit group all the way around the console, what I wanted to do is just lay the console on top of the fabric, and I got this pencil line. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it right on that pencil line, because that pencil line comes to this outside edge. It's actually going to get cut off in this rabbit groove. So I'll have basically like a ½ inch of extra fabric all the way around this pattern that will get cut off once it gets tucked into that rabbit. So, and then I'll heat it up and press it in around the cup holders. And I'm actually going to try and fold it into the cup holders. That way the cup holders have to press in, and that'll hold them in place when the music's playing, because this thing does vibrate quite a bit inside the box. So what I'll do is go ahead and take my scissors and cut this piece out and get it ready to go on. Now that we have that done, we're going to have to give this time to dry. And whenever you push your finger to it, it's usually pretty good. This will take just a few minutes. That piece has already kind of soaked it in, so it'll be ready. And again, once we set that down, better be ready for it to be done, because it sticks almost instantly. And then if you peel it up, it'll pull the glue up and really make a mess of it. So we really got to try and be pretty smooth. With a long piece like this, I wish I had a little bit of help, but I don't. We'll make it work. So what we'll do is we'll just fold it in half, try and get one side started and laid on, and then go back with the other side. So let me give this just a few minutes to dry, and when we come back, we'll start putting it on. All right, we now have it ready. And again, this is going to be the funnest part, is getting it to land where we want it to. And I'm honestly not sure the best way to do this, because if you put it on crooked, it's stuck there. So I'll try to lightly set it there. I think that's it right there. So what you got to do is be very careful in these corners. push it tight. And I don't have any of the proper tools for this. So I know I'm going to mess this up. But once you start sticking it, make sure and pull it tight. So we have plenty of extra on this back. Got something underneath there. Piece of body filler. Don't want that down there, do we? All right. Now hopefully we can pick this up. I'm saying once it sticks at all, you're pretty well stuck. So gotta work into these corners. And this front does not matter because it gets tucked completely underneath the dash, so you'll actually never be able to see any of that. So now you just got to push it down good. And then what I'll do, I'll get the heat gun and push this down into that. And that'll help it fit in there. And then we'll cut some slits and pull it in. Same thing here. I wish I'd had a roller for that. It'd been nice. Let me find my heat gun. So just give this a second. This stuff's real thin, so you want to get really hot. It warms up really quickly. Then just push it around. Look at that squeegee I had the other day. You can see how it's taking shape there. So that's pretty cool. I wonder if I could use these cup holders and push them in from the top. Upside down like. There we go. That'll work. And you can see how good of a fit that's going to be now. Right around it. So we can cut that and start tucking that into there. Cut that out, tuck that into there. Because that's going to have this trim ring that will go over top of it and hide those corners. I'm not too worried about hiding these corners at the moment. It'd be nice to be able to hide them for this weekend, but alas, that's not going to happen. All right, so you can see I've got it tucked all the way around. That's just a piece of hair sticking out, so we're still good there. And this will just get tucked and nailed underneath that bottom edge because that's where it goes into the sub box in the back. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll go ahead and get the other side caught up, and then we'll come back and do a little bit on the side panels. But those side panels can be an absolute nightmare because it's really hard to cut them to fit around that. I could probably do with a pair of scissors if I take my time. That's what that vinyl is very soft on that edge, so you gotta be really careful. It just mars up really easily. So that's the only thing I don't like about this vinyl, but yeah, it's gonna look pretty good. Give me a little bit to get kind of further ahead, and we'll come back and have more progress. All right, so I have the top is done, and you can see a nice fit around the cup holders. That looks kind of sloppy, but once they get pushed in there, it's gonna look really good. So yeah, a little dusty, not too bad. So it looks like there's a bump there, right there. But there's nothing there. Anyway, all right, so now what I'll do is I'll lay the next piece of fabric on here and do kind of the same thing. I'm going to try and lay it on its side, kind of trace it, make a copy of it, and then draw it with a pencil, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this one works out. But what I want to do is make it just oversized, where I can kind of do the same thing, where I can groove this. And I'll use the scissors to actually cut it next to that groove, and then hopefully have just a little bit of material to tuck in to make it a whole lot easier. Because that's a trick I just figured out is if I take my tool and run it along the seam, I can see where that seam is at. And I can take my utility knife, come just on the inside of that and cut back like 1/8 of an inch or even less than that, where it's just enough material to tuck down in that groove. And that worked really, really well. So maybe something for you guys to think about. I also set up a light up here so you have a little bit better view of what I'm actually doing, so it's not so dark. And so I can actually see what I'm doing because, man, I'm getting old. I'm getting really old. But yeah, it's turned out really nice. So let me get this side profile figured out, and I'll pick it up when I do. All right, I did the exact same thing I did on the bottom. I just laid the vinyl underneath it. I traced out about 1 inch out past around it. Like I said, there's going to be waste with this anyway, so I gave myself plenty to work with. So what I'll do now is the same thing I did earlier. Get both pieces glued up. I'm going to take some tape and tape this edge to try and keep from getting glue on that. I can peel it off after I get done with it. So we'll go ahead and get this side, get this glued up. Make sure there ain't no trash on it. We'll get that side glued up. We'll get this glued up, get this taped off, and we'll start putting it together. All right, so we now have the passenger side ready to go. It's nice and tacky. So we can stick this piece on. And it's the same thing. We got to be very careful when we stick it, because once we stick it, we can't unstick it. So what I'll try and do is come up a little extra there. Make sure we got enough coming over. Enough for the bottom. Oh, that's definitely not enough. We may have already messed up, boys and girls. Let's see what we can do here. So I mean, once it sticks, it sticks. So all right, there we go. So now let's make sure and push all the bubbles out. And you can start seeing the outline coming as we're pushing the edge there. And so this will just get tucked under and stapled at the bottom. I've got glue down there to glue that bottom on. But we'll staple it as well so it does not move. We got that done there. And so it'd be kind of the same process as we did with the top of trying to get this pushed around which we can push it around. And then we'll cut it close to where the corners are so it has room to move. Because that is the hardest part of all that, is getting these corners pulled around where you want them. And so you don't get any odd edges. So I wish I knew how to teach you guys to do this, but I don't know what I'm doing, so I don't know what I'm doing. So we got the bottom pushed where we want it. So now we just tip this up, and like I said, what we'll do is we'll come in here and start just taking the snips and cutting close to these corners where we want that to stop, but we're going to stay back off the corner just a little bit. Those are the fun ones right there. All right. Let me turn this around where I can see what I'm doing. It'll be a whole lot better for both of us. On the passenger side, show my 5 head here. So we are 2/3 done. And again, same thing I had last time. This vinyl back below there is just so freaking soft that it's just chunking out. So I probably won't be happy with this one either, but it'll be better than the one I had before as far as fitting and all that stuff. And it's in a base truck, it's gonna get beat up, so I'm not too worried about it. But I need to come up with a different way to wrap these that's easier, because this ain't it. This, I don't believe this is a beginner's way of doing this, but that's what I came up with. So we'll live by the sword, we'll die by the sword, but no biggie. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing. I got the pattern cut out here for this other side. Go ahead and get it glued up, go ahead and get it put on. There's really nothing there for me to show. What I'm doing is just putting that tool in the corner and getting a line to take the knife and just cutting right along the edge of it, so it just barely has to tuck in there, and that it seems to be working pretty good. But that groove is just a little either too tight, or I'm just not using the right tool, which that tool is like an install tool for stereos or something like that, so I know it's not the right thing. But it is currently about 10:30. I've got to get this video made, edited, and loading tonight before I go to bed, so I'll probably be up till at least midnight, 12:30, depending on how long this takes me to get done. So we'll just come back whenever I get this wrapped, and we'll kind of go over it from there. Maybe tomorrow when I come home for lunch. That's what I'll do. I'll come home for lunch tomorrow. I'll put it in the truck so we can see what it looks like in the truck. I'll edit that in the video, then I can get it loaded tonight. So I'll be able to go to bed. I'll get most of it edited and just add that in the end of the video. So, but we're getting it. Part of it. I ain't too worried about it. If you're new here, please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Comment down below. Hit the notification bells for future videos. And help me reach to 1,000 subs. We are very close. I'm also within like 240 hours of hitting the 1,000 hours of view time. And once I hit that, I will be at the first level of monetization. Then when I hit 1,000 subs, I'll be at the second level of monetization. Well, I also have to get to 4,000 hours, but we'll get there with the people. But I want to say I do appreciate you guys being here, watching my content and stuff like that. I hope you like it. Let me know what you think about stuff like this. For the car audio guys, I know that's not really audio related, but it's a little bit different. So, you know, kind of break it up a little bit, not just all mini truck stuff, some stereo stuff, some Mazda stuff, some Nissan stuff like that. But comment down below what you think about the videos. All right, guys, we have it done. So again, I got to do The top piece here. So I'm not too worried about how these corners fit because that's going to end up getting put on top of it and finish that off. So yeah, we got it done and it turned out really good. There's a few issues with it, but like anything else, it's going in a base truck, so I'm really not too mad at it. I think it looks pretty cool. It's definitely better than the first one I did, and my third one will be better than the second one I did. So yeah, I think it turned out really nice. Let me know down below. Comment down below what you think. Is this something that you'd like to try and tackle? Something you think that you could do? There's two previous videos on this, I believe. I was building this console, and there's some pretty good tips and tricks on that video as well. So make sure and check those videos out. There's several videos on the Nissan base truck. There's several videos on the Mazda before we got onto the Mazda base truck. And then there's Mazda. All sorts of good content on there. I think I'm up to 88 videos, which I think that's counting shorts. But we're also really not too far away from my 1 year on YouTube. So yeah, I'd say to be close to 1,000 subscribers in the first year for a small channel like this is really good. And I appreciate each and every one of you for being here, checking me out, following along, and commenting down below and all that good stuff. And keep pushing me along. I do appreciate it. It's late. I'm tired. Now I get to go in and edit for probably an hour and a half to 2 hours. This is how long it takes. But make sure and tune in next week. We'll be back on the Mazda. We'll have some show coverage from Oktoberfest in Paducah. We're meeting up with several of the guys from Paducah area, cruising together. I believe it's an all-day event, and then that night they're having a cruise around town that starts at like 6:45. We've got to meet down by Books A Million. So maybe I'll see some of you guys out there if you're from local. Gonna check that out. We'll do the cruise. We'll hang out, and then we'll come home. And I'll be playing golf this weekend. It's been nice. Ready to play golf again. But anyway, again, thank you guys for being here. Make sure to do all the good YouTube things. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment down below, all the good stuff. Make sure to hit the subscribe button so we can get to 1,000 subscribers. So we can give that Scar Audio SVR D212 away. Get it out of my way. Get it out of my garage. Get it into somebody else's vehicle. That'd be really cool. Once again, thank you all for being here. We'll catch you on the next one. Thank you.